I like this phrase you mentioned in Forbes when you say, when failure is not an option, you end up with an incremental and safe innovation without radical disruptive advances. Now, getting you to our country, we live in Chile where like personal and professional success is extremely correlated to perfect performance, where there's no room for failure. I wanted to ask you, how do we teach our business leaders in big corporations that in order to have these disruptive innovations, you have to let your employees try and fail. You can have, like in Google X, you were mentioning that they have at the edge this group that constantly disrupts. I'm not talking about that group, but I'm talking a little bit inside the organizations, that not everything has to be perfect, that you have to bring new ideas to the table.
Yeah, in fact, in Amazon, for every team in Amazon, they measure how many experiments did you run this quarter, how many succeeded, how many failed. If you're not running enough experiments and not enough are failing, your bonus gets affected. So they want you to fail, because how do you learn if, okay, let's try this pricing model, let's try this delivery schedule, let's try this product placement idea. And if you're not constantly learning, and if you think of the best colleagues and employees anybody has in a company, it's those that are learning the fastest. Now, to learn, you have to actually test and see if it works or doesn't work, etc. Right? My favorite story around this is Google. When Larry and Sergey were trying to get funding for Google, there were already a dozen search engines. They had to make 350 investor presentations before they got funding. Right? So they failed 350 times to get investment until they finally got funded. Now, what if they'd stopped at 340? And how many others had stopped earlier? Right? And this is what's magical. Success comes from just not saying no.